All right, I hope you are ready to discuss the final ITTO. First, inputs, project charter. The project charter documents the project success criteria, the approval requirements, and who will sign off the project. Project management plan. Here we are talking about all the components of the project management plan, which could be an input to the process. Project documents. There are 12 in it. Let's look at them. First one, assumption log. The assumption log records all the assumptions and constraints that guided the technical specification, estimation, schedule, risks, etc. Basis of estimates. Whenever there is a change request as a part of change control process, you should calculate the impact of change in terms of schedule, budget, and resource. The basis of information will be helpful here. Change log. The change log contains the status of all changes requested throughout the project or phase. Issue log. The issue log is used to ensure that there is no open issues before closing the project or phase. Lessons learned register. The lessons learned of the phase or the project get finalized before moving into lessons learned repository. Milestone list. The milestone list shows the final date on which the project milestones have been accomplished. Project communication. Project communication includes any and all communication that have been created throughout the project. Quality control measurements. The quality control measurements documents the result of control quality activities and demonstrate compliance with the quality control requirements. Quality reports. Quality reports may include all the quality assurance issues managed or escalated by the team, recommendation for improvements, and summary of finding from the control quality process. Requirements documentation. Requirements documentation is used to demonstrate compliance with the project scope. Risk register. The risk register provides information on risks that have been occurred throughout the project. Risk report. The risk report presents information on source of overall and individual project risks that are due to the change requested. Alright, the next input is accepted deliverables. Accepted deliverables may include approved product specifications, delivery receipts, and work performance documents. Please note that partial or interim deliverables may also be included for phased or cancelled projects. The next is business documents. As you're aware, business case and benefits management plan are the two documents which are in business documents. Let's look at them. First, business case. The business case contains the business need and the cost benefit analysis that justify the project. So, business case is used to determine if the expected outcome from the economic feasibility study used to justify the project occurred. Benefits management plan. The benefits management plan outlines the target benefits of the project. The benefits management plan is used to measure whether the benefits of the project were achieved as planned. The next input is agreements. In a complex project, there may be multiple contracts running simultaneously or in sequence. All the contracts must be closed before closing the project. The requirements for the formal closure are usually defined in agreement, including the terms and conditions. The next is procurement documentation. To close the contract, all the procurement documentation is collected, indexed, and filed. Information on contract schedule, scope, quality, and cost performance, along with all contract change documentation, payment records, and inspection results are catalogued. Procurement documents includes plans, drawings, documents, manuals, troubleshooting, and other technical documentation. And all these documents must be indexed. Information that helps to evaluate the contractor for future contract should be collected along with the lessons learned, which can be used in future projects. The next input is organizational process asserts. In fact, is the final input. The change control procedure, including steps by which organization standards, policies, plans, procedures, or any project documents will be modified and how any change will be approved and validated. Configuration management knowledge base containing the versions and baselines of all official organizational standards, policies, procedures, and any project documents. Procedures for approving and issuing change authorizations. All right, now let's move to the tools and techniques. The first one is expert judgment. For this process, the experts can be from technical knowledge of the industry and focus area of the project, legislation and regulations, legal and procurement, configuration management, and risk management. The next one is data analysis. Let's look at some of the data analysis techniques that are used during project closure. The first one is document analysis. Assessing available documentation will allow identifying lessons learned and knowledge sharing for future projects and also for organizational assets improvements. Regression analysis. This technique analyzes the interrelationship between different project variables that contributed to the project outcome to improve performance on future projects. Trend analysis. Trend analysis can be used to validate the models used in organization and to implement adjustment for the future projects. Variance analysis. Variance analysis can be used to improve the metrics of the organization by comparing what was initially planned and the end result. The next is meetings. Meetings are used to confirm that the deliverables have been accepted, ensure that exit criteria have been met. Meetings may be face-to-face, virtual, formal, or informal. Evaluate the satisfaction of the stakeholders, gather lessons learned, transfer knowledge and information from the project, and it's time to celebrate the success. Attendees may include project team members and other stakeholders involved or affected by the project. Here, the types of meetings could include closeout report meeting, customer wrap-up meeting, lessons learned meeting, and celebration meetings. Then you formally close the project. That's about the tools and technique. Let's jump into the outputs. First, project documents updates. All project documents may be updated and marked as final version as a result of project closure. The final lessons learned register may include information on benefits management, accuracy of business case, project and development lifecycle, risk and issue management, stakeholder engagement, and other project management process. The next one is final product, service, or results transition. The product, service, or result once delivered by the project may be handed over to a different group or organization where they will operate, maintain, and support it throughout its life cycle. The next output is final report. Here we are talking about achievement of various project objectives. Let's quickly look at them. Scope objective criteria used to evaluate the scope and the evidence that the completion criteria were met. Schedule objectives include whether results and the benefits are achieved that the project was undertaken. If the benefits are not met at the close of the project, then you need to indicate the degree to which they were achieved and estimate for future benefits realization. Cost objectives includes the acceptable cost range, actual cost, and reason for any variance. Quality objectives criteria used to evaluate the project and product quality, the verification and actual milestone delivery dates, and reasons for variance in case if any. Summary of any risks or issues encountered on the project and how they were addressed. Final report provides a summary of project performance, which includes summary level description of the project or phase, summary of how the final product, service, or result achieved, and the business needs identified in the business plan. If the business needs are not met at the close of the project, then you need to indicate the degree to which they were achieved and estimate when the project needs will be met in future. The next and the final output is organizational process asserts updates. We have 4. Let's look at those. Project documents. Project documentation resulting from the project activities, for example, project management plan, scope, cost schedule, and project calendar, and change management documentations get updated. Documents required for an organization to maintain, operate, and support the product or service delivered by the project. You may create new documents or update the existing documents. The organizational processes that update in project or phase closure documents. These documents indicates the completion of the project or phase and the transfer of project or phase deliverable to others, such as an operation group or to the next phase. During project closure, the project manager review prior phase documentation, customer acceptance documentation from the validate scope process to ensure that project requirements are completed prior to closure of the project. In case if the project was terminated prior to completion, then the formal documentation indicate why the project was terminated and formalize the procedure to transfer finished or semi-finished deliverables to others. The final one is lessons learned repository. Lessons learned and knowledge gained throughout the project are transferred to other lessons learned repository for use of future projects. With this, we conclude all the process and the tools and techniques.